Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Georgio, your friendly neighborhood YouTuber, and I'm back with another pay-per-view wrestling review for you guys. And I'm gonna be talking about the aftermath of the WWE Super Showdown pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia, which featured Goldberg facing the Fiend Bray Wyatt in the main event, as well as a bunch of other great matchups that we had on the show, like Brock Lesnar, Ricochet, Naomi facing Bayley for the SmackDown Women's title, and some huge surprises that went down in this particular show. But as you guys know, if you've seen some of my other wrestling pay-per-view reviews, what I like to do is I like to talk about the main event first, because that is where I feel like a lot of the attention and a lot of fan criticism and emotion has went into, especially with this particular show. And that is Goldberg defeated the Fiend Bray Wyatt. And the thing is this, I was talking with my friend Ricky about this matchup and how I think it might end. And here's what I was thinking. I was thinking that Goldberg was gonna hit a couple of spears on Bray Wyatt, and then of course Bray Wyatt would kick out of the spear. Like whenever Goldberg goes for a pin, Bray Wyatt will kick out at one, just to kind of show how powerful Bray Wyatt is. Then Goldberg would go for the jackhammer, but Bray Wyatt would kick out at two. Then I was thinking, if Goldberg goes for another spear, Bray Wyatt catches him in that mandible claw and then chokes him out and hit him with the Sister Abigail. Now, that's what I was hoping the match would go like, because it makes Goldberg look strong, and it would have made Bray Wyatt look super resilient and strong as well. And and it would have been a huge victory for Bray Wyatt, because it would have showed that even Goldberg couldn't stop the power of the Fiend. But that did not happen here. Bray Wyatt, he was able to get the mandible claw on Goldberg, but Goldberg was able to fight out of it, and he hit him with another jackhammer. I mean, not another jackhammer, but he hit him with another spear. And then he hit him with this jackhammer. He barely could get Bray Wyatt up. You could tell Bray Wyatt kind of, helped him get him up there a little bit, But, it was just something else. You know what I'm saying? It truly was. And I'm just wondering, it's like, I wouldn't say that it was a squash match. I guess you could say that, but the only way it'll be a squash match is if the wrestler barely got any offense in. So maybe you could say that, I guess. I don't know. But honestly, I like Goldberg. Goldberg, especially in real life, Goldberg's a cool dude. I'll never forget, what he did for me with one of my wrestling videos that I had made for a friend at the time. Goldberg retweeted it on Twitter and helped me get a lot of views on it. So, I feel like he's a cool guy and everything. So I know a lot of fans are mad and everything right now that Goldberg beat the Fiend and everything, and I can understand their frustration there, especially with the kind of run that Bray Wyatt has had, with this character, with this run right now. And my thing is this though, like, I don't get it. It's like, so you basically, and you guys remember when Bray Wyatt faced Seth Rollins, it took all those curb stomps and all of that stuff, and Bray Wyatt was able to survive all of that, and he was able to get the win over Seth Rollins. And it's like, so, and then you get to this match, you have Goldberg hit him with spears and just one jackhammer, and that's it. And it makes the Fiend look weak. I hate to say it, And this is just me looking at this from from a guy that I've been watching wrestling for years. I've seen different kinds of matches. I've seen wrestlers who are really good and everything, and how powerful and what a finisher means to a matchup, and and when you have a character that's hot with the fans, that the fans are truly emotionally invested in, and that's what the fans are with the Fiend Bray Wyatt, and you have him lose like this to a guy that's in his 50s. And on paper, it just doesn't sound right. It just does not look right. I understand WWE, at the end of the day, they are a business. That's why they call it the wrestling business, because it is a business. And WWE, at the end of the day, they're going to do what they think is best, what they feel is profitable for them, because it's their business, it's their company. So and maybe they feel like they can still make some money with Goldberg. And of course, Goldberg, he has a family, so he's not going to turn down that good money that WWE is paying him. And I don't blame him for not turning it down. So we shouldn't be mad at Goldberg. And plus his son gets to see him wrestle. And that's all that matters right there, and but still, I still feel like the Fiend probably, rightfully so, the Fiend should have gotten the win here at this pay-per-view instead of Goldberg. And it's just like WWE, you don't get characters, at least for them. You don't see characters like that come around often, where everything they do it turns to gold. And they don't have many characters like the Fiend. They don't have many people like Bray Wyatt that actually can draw, that fans truly do like and will get behind on. So for you to kind of have him lose in the way that he did, it kind of just hurts all this momentum that he's had leading up to this event. And at least what I've always thought, if you're gonna use a guy with the star power that Goldberg has, and if you're gonna use a wrestling legend, you always use them to put over the current talent so that they can go on to be even bigger stars in the business. That's what it was. At least that's how I always thought it was. But I think WWE sees it differently, And I think, and you know what it does? By having Goldberg beat the Fiend, it puts him in a bad position right now, because now fans may potentially boo him when he shows up on SmackDown, and it won't even be his fault. And so you're doing the opposite effect, by having Goldberg win the title and everything. And who knows? I mean, WWE offers him the opportunity, and he can make some good money, and that's cool, I wouldn't turn it down either if I was Goldberg. But WWE, they gotta be careful with this, man, because you're gonna end up alienating your fans to the point where they ain't gonna want to pay for your WWE network. They're not gonna want to pay for pay-per-views and stuff if all their favorite stars are gonna constantly lose. They don't want to see that. And I'm not saying that Bray Wyatt, because Bray Wyatt, he's had an excellent run, but I just don't know if I would have had that end at this pay-per-view right here. I just don't know if I would have had that. That would not be, my way of thinking there. If you're gonna have Bray Wyatt lose, it should be he should lose to a current talent, and that's the way that it is. And and so what I'm thinking, they could have Goldberg defend the title in Elimination Chamber, or they might wait till Mania and have him defend the title. I guess we'll find out on SmackDown, which that makes it even more important for us to watch the SmackDown in the coming weeks to kind of see where the direction is going to be. But anyways, I want to know what you all think about this situation. You can email me at the Beyond Wrestling Podcast email, which will be in the description of this whatever platform that you're listening to this on. But definitely tell me what you all think, what you think's gonna happen next. I think we could see Goldberg versus Roman Reigns. That could be I've been hearing some rumblings from fans about that could be a potential matchup, because you can definitely expect Roman Reigns to be thrown into the title picture soon. You can definitely expect that. And since I brought up Roman Reigns, I might as well talk about the cage match that he had with the Baron Corbin, or King Corbin, should I say. He got the win over King Corbin, and honestly, I feel like I think that was the right choice. Baron Corbin, he's gonna be good regardless. Obviously you give Roman this big win in this cage match so that when Roman goes up against whoever he's gonna face for the title, if that is the plan, who knows what the plan is, but at least Roman will have some momentum going into the next pay-per-view, and I'm okay with it. I wasn't really interested in the cage match because we've seen Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin, we've seen them face each other for the same time. I mean, countless times, we've seen them face each other countless times, and it's almost like to the point where people are tired of that feud. It's ran its course. So I'm glad that this is it. This is the end of that feud, and we can move on to bigger and better things. And let me go back to the beginning of this pay-per-view, since I talked about one of the more important parts of this show. And so the first match on the card was the gauntlet match, which, it had R-Truth, it had AJ Styles, it had Eric Rowan, it had Andrade, and it had Bobby Lashley in there. And here's the thing, with that, oh yeah, R-Truth was in it too. My bad. They had R-Truth in there. So, and it surprised me that R-Truth beat Bobby Lashley, and he beat Andrade. He eliminated them both from the gauntlet match, and I was like, whoa. I was surprised by that. Then, of course, Eric Rowan, he came out there and did something, and I think, and of course, AJ Styles, he made his way out there and everything, and he was the last person standing. And then from there, Rey Mysterio was supposed to be in this match, but the OC, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, who's with AJ Styles, they pretty much jumped him, I guess. So Rey Mysterio music hit, but he wasn't out there. He didn't come out there. So a lot of people was like, whoa, where's Rey Mysterio at? Then they they was counting to 10, I guess, and if he didn't make it out there by the 10 count, then AJ Styles will win the gauntlet. He'll win that Kuwait Mountain trophy thing that they have, because that's what they was fighting for. And that's a huge ass trophy too, by the way. But so they wouldn't cut back to the back, and they showed Luke Gallows on the ground in pain. Then we saw Carl Anderson going flying to the ground, and then we saw the Undertaker. Now, there have been rumors that the Undertaker may appear at the Super Showdown, and then, of course, the dirt sheets and the wrestling news sites, they reported it first. They showed footage of the Undertaker arriving in Saudi Arabia. So the Undertaker was there at the show, And of course WWE ended up reporting it because they might as well, since the dirt sheets had already beat them to it. So they were like, well, hey, we might as well confirm it. So, and of course that led more people speculating about the Undertaker getting into it with AJ Styles. And speaking of which, wow, you guys, we gotta talk about this. Undertaker, he came out there and he was the last person in the gauntlet to face AJ Styles, and this was just crazy. It is sad in a way because AJ Styles didn't get no offense in this match. I have never seen this before in any AJ Styles match that I've ever seen. AJ Styles got no offense in this match, and he lost to a choke slam. He lost with one move. He came at the Undertaker, ran right into a choke slam. 1, 2, 3. That was it. And I'm just like, what the hell? How you job AJ Styles? I know it's the Undertaker and everything, but you do not job AJ Styles out like that. You don't have AJ Styles lose with one move. You don't have AJ Styles lose with one move. It just makes no sense. They made AJ Styles seem like one of these local jobbers in the city, man. And it's just like, bro, you don't do that. You just don't do it. You know? And you know, they could have just forfeit. They should have just gave it. If they wanted AJ Styles to interact with the Undertaker, all they had to do was give AJ Styles the win because the OC had beat up you know, Rey Mysterio, or maybe they could have came out there and interfered with the match and gave AJ Styles the win. Then the Undertaker would have showed up. If they still wanted to do that, they could have had the Undertaker showed up, and he could have took out the OC one by one. Then he should have gotten in the ring with AJ, and then if they wanted to do a choke slam, they could have did it without having AJ Styles look weak in the process. And that is exactly, but they didn't do it like that. They pretty much jobbed him out. It's like, come on, man. A guy of AJ Styles' caliber, a wrestler of his caliber, should not be jobbing out to anyone. I don't care what kind of name value they have. And, you know, you could at least let him get some offense in. You know? So, all the fans out there, they have every right to be upset. You have the Fiend pretty much lose to someone who hasn't been in the WWE for what has been a year, a couple of months, or a year. And then you have AJ Styles job out to the Undertaker, who's not been there that much at all either. And it's just like, man, you know, you can't. I'm telling you, you cannot build a future if you constantly have your top names jobbing to guys who's not gonna be there in the next couple of months or years. You know, you just can't do that, WWE. You know, no matter how. And I love the Undertaker. A lot of us wrestling fans do, but this is not how you book AJ Styles. This is not how you book AJ Styles. So I had to go in depth. I had to go in about that. And then, of course, you know, we had the Raw Tag Team Titles match, which was the Street Profits versus Seth Rollins and Murphy. And, you know, Seth Rollins, he's been doing this whole Monday Night Messiah type of gimmick. You know, like he's some religious cult leader or something. And Murphy and the Arthurs of Pain tag team are like his disciples. And honestly, I like the gimmick. I'm starting to like it more and more. It kind of reminds me of CM Punk's Straight Edge Society gimmick. You know, it kind of reminds me of that. And so I get that. And there is some kind of entertainment value to this. And of course, Seth Rollins and Murphy win. Seth Rollins was able to hit Angelo Dawkins of the Street Profits with that curve stomp on the hard part of the ring, the apron. And then, of course, they retained the titles and everything. I didn't expect them to lose. It would have been cool to see the Street Profits win the tag team titles here, but I feel like that win should be saved for like a WrestleMania or another big pay-per-view, I guess. But I don't know. I wouldn't have had them to try to. I don't know. It's just crazy, but nonetheless, I have no problem with the outcome in this matchup. It was actually a pretty decent matchup. I will say that. It was very decent. It wasn't bad compared to what we've been seeing. But nonetheless, they had, of course, the WWE title match, which was Ricochet versus Brock Lesnar. And nobody, I'm gonna just be honest, no one really expected Ricochet to win the WWE title. This was one of those filler type matches. That's what it was. The match started off fast. Ricochet, he tried to come at Brock Lesnar with a drop kick, but Brock Lesnar just knocked him down as soon as he tried to go run at him with a drop kick. And then Brock Lesnar hit him with the hammer fist and the suplexes. And then he had Ricochet on the ground, and he just launched him up in the air into an L5 and beat him. And he grabbed both legs. It was one of those decisive victories. Obviously, Brock Lesnar was trying to send a message to Drew McIntyre that, hey, I'm coming for you. This is what you can expect when you get in the ring with me. So, yeah, the outcome was predictable. Shoot, it was pretty much a squash match. Another squash match. Can you believe that? But Brock Lesnar, on the other hand, is very dominant, so it makes sense, And so that was pretty much that on that. It was what it was, right? And then, of course, they had the SmackDown Tag Team titles, which is John Morrison and The Miz versus New Day. And, of course, John Morrison and The Miz, they won the Tag Team titles. And it's been 11 years, they say, since they was the Tag Team Champions. So this is a very history-making moment, very momentous win for, John Morrison and The Miz. And I was actually hoping that they would win the tag team titles, because the New Day can be over without the belts. They don't necessarily need any titles to be big stars. They can draw money just by being who they are. And I think when you got John Morrison, who's now back in the WWE, by having him win the tag team titles with The Miz, this is a good thing, because this could be a good test run for WWE to see if John Morrison can draw money as the tag team champions. Because if they can do that, then we may see John Morrison go for a world title one day, but it's too early to be having those conversations, because we gotta see how well he does now with the tag team titles. Because if he can't get over with those, then it's gonna be a long road ahead for him. But I think they'll be able to make this work, because John Morrison and The Miz have great in-ring chemistry together, so they're gonna go far. WWE just need to get more tag teams on board to face them, But I really like the matchup. It's always fun watching John Morrison in the ring. He's always innovative, and it was really cool little show right there, And then they had Angel Garza versus Alberto Carrillo. But I didn't really watch that match, I'm being honest with you. They had Dolph Ziggler versus the hometown star of, the Saudi Arabia, which is Mansoor. And Mansoor beat Dolph Ziggler, which I didn't expect Dolph Ziggler to win this match, because it made sense for Mansoor to win in his own hometown. But we have yet to see him on NXT and on WWE TV. Like, in any other capacity. So it's hard to say where he's gonna head right now because he's still fresh, and so it's gonna take some time. You know, they they gotta get him a character, and we gotta see him in a big time feud before we can determine if he's gonna have a big future in the business. But he does have something, you know, to work with, and he has a good look to his style and his appearance and stuff. So I think that will help out a lot for him going forward. So, you know, and so I think oh yeah, they had the SmackDown Women's Title match, you know, and you know, Bayley, she retained her title against Naomi. It's really good to see Naomi back, and the thing is, I love Naomi. She's really cool, you know. I love the whole glow thing and all of that. But I do feel like Naomi needs something extra to her character to really take her to the next level, so that WWE can be like, you know what, she's money, we need to do something with her. She needs something extra. I like the glow thing, but hey, there's nothing wrong with adding another layer to the character, turning up the volume a little bit. She definitely needs that. She's really good in the ring, everyone knows that, and I think given the opportunity, she will be able to shine. And Naomi has been able to, you know, stay healthy and everything. And so, at least from, you know, what I've seen. So, hopefully we can see her back in the ring in a big way again. And eventually, like, maybe with a new attitude to her character, we can possibly see her win the title. And of course, you know, Sasha Banks, you know, a lot of people have been wondering what's going on with Sasha Banks. I know she got hurt, and that's very unfortunate. You know, because I feel like Sasha Banks can be the big star of their women's division, period. But I don't think WWE has full faith in Sasha Banks like that to put the belt on her, because something's always going on with her. And you really can't, and as a company, you can't put too much money or stock in someone who's probably not going to be around as much due to whatever's going on. You know, and I really do kind of hate that, you know, but it's the reality of the situation. I feel like if Sasha Banks can stay healthy for a decent amount of time, and she gets the fans back emotionally invested in her character and in a big time storyline, then Sasha Banks will be the world champion. Can't say the world heavyweight championship, but you know, but still, I think she can be the world champion at least before the end of this year. Hopefully, if she can get back in time, you know, that's what I'm thinking. And I guess we'll just have to see, right? But Bayley retains the SmackDown Women's title. I feel like Bayley, her heel run has not really been producing on that big level. It's not really been getting people to just go crazy booing her. Like, and I give you the example of MJF. Like, if Bayley got that MJF, you know, because MJF is in All Elite Wrestling, and he's one of the best heels in the business today. He's what a heel should be. And I feel like if we got female heels that acted like him, it'll be crazy, because then you really gonna want to pay money to see someone beat Bayley, because she's really good at her job as a heel. And I feel like she hasn't reached that point, or even Randy Orton level of heat. Like, if she can get that Randy Orton level of heat, that'll be good. You know, like, if she can get fans to hate her that much. And I don't think she's at that point yet. They need to do something different with her heel character. You know, that's just what it is. So that we can, because without a really, really great heel, you can't have a great baby face, and then it's just gonna be craziness. But we'll see. We'll see what's gonna happen next with their women's division. I guess we'll find out on SmackDown. I would love it if we saw Sasha Banks versus Bayley. That would be really good. At WrestleMania, but I guess time will tell. But overall, the show, it was okay. WWE Super Showdown, it was okay. A lot of fans are not happy with some of the results and everything, and I totally understand that. And WWE just got to do better. You got some really good stars. Don't screw it up, because you're not going to always have the kind of stars that you have now. You can't always rely on the legends. They've had their time to get over. They had their time in the spotlight. If you're gonna bring them back so that they can put over the talent that's there. That's how it should be. And fans would have no problem with a Goldberg or an Undertaker coming back here and there, because they'll know, okay, these guys are coming back to help the current talent get over by having them beat them, But they not doing that. And of course, as you can see, you go on Twitter, there's a lot of negative reactions right now, and that all could have been avoided. But nonetheless, I hope you all enjoyed my WWE Super Showdown pay-per-view review. And and there's one last thing I gotta talk about before I cut this off, and that is Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair from NXT the other night. And that match, I mean, it seemed like it was a pretty decent matchup, I will say. A lot of fans are upset because Bianca Belair lost, and then what followed that loss was, Charlotte Flair, she ended up hurting Bianca Belair's ankle with the chair move or whatever by stomping on it through the chair. And what was really weird and retarded, I guess, was they had Rhea Ripley come out. She did her whole entrance while Bianca Belair is in the ring getting viciously assaulted by Charlotte. And it's like, why would you have Rhea Ripley come out there and do her whole entrance, then run to the ring to try to confront Charlotte? Why not just have her run to the ring and confront Charlotte in the first place? Just, like that. You gonna have her do her whole entrance, doing the whole stomp on the ground thing, and then going, it's like, really? I just didn't get that. It made no sense to me. And maybe that was just Rhea Ripley showing she don't care about Bianca Belair, but it did look like she was coming out there to confront Charlotte. So why not just have her run to the ring and confront Charlotte instead of doing the entrance? It made no sense to me with that booking decision right there. And so, of course, fans are mad because Bianca Belair lost. And this is the thing, you guys. Bianca Belair, she's always losing the big time matches. They've always had her booked to lose them big time matches. And it is hard as a fan, And that's why I have sympathy for her fans, because it's hard to be a fan of a wrestler that's always losing. And I know in wrestling, it's not the wrestler's fault. It's whoever's doing the booking, But you can't constantly have Bianca Belair losing big time matches, Now, I still have one small glimmer of hope for you guys, and just think about it for a second. You had Charlotte do this vicious assault on Bianca Belair. They still can find a way to get Bianca Belair involved in this situation with Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, because now Bianca Belair, storyline wise, she will have a legitimate case. She could say, Rhea Ripley took her time to come out there and didn't try to help her, really. Then she can have a revenge thing where she gets revenge on Charlotte for hurting her ankle. So there's still a way to fix this situation with Bianca Belair. And if they're smart, they will find a way to include her in this title picture. I know fans don't want to see another triple threat match at WrestleMania, but I just want to see something really cool for Bianca Belair, because she's one of the few talents that WWE does have that can talk in the ring. She has the look, she has the character, and most importantly, on top of all of that, she has the in-ring ability. She has all of what you could want in a pro wrestler if you're a promoter. I wouldn't have her losing like that. So hopefully, maybe we'll see her show up on the SmackDown roster. Because if Bianca Belair is on the SmackDown women's roster, that will really help out too. But yeah, I just wanted to share my thoughts on that. I don't agree with her losing all the time, but maybe there's a big payoff to this. Let's just try to wait. I know it's hard for the fans out there, but let's just try to wait and see what happens next for Bianca Belair leading up to Mania. If nothing doesn't happen big for her by WrestleMania, then we can just go in on WWE for it. But for right now, let's just wait and see how this really plays out. Because Triple H did mention on the post show for NXT TakeOver Oregon that there's something big still gonna happen for Bianca Belair. So we're gonna see if that happens by Mania. But nonetheless, you guys, thank you so much for listening in on this episode of Beyond Wrestling. It was quite the show to talk about, for sure. I just hope that you all have a very blessed day or night or whenever you may hear this. And let me know what you think of this episode. You know, I try to make it fun and entertaining for you guys, and that's what it's all about on here on Beyond Wrestling. We go beyond everything that's going on in the ring. And I love you guys, and definitely we'll come back next time. I will catch you then. This is Georgio, your friendly neighborhood podcaster, and I'll see you soon.